Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Filthy Rich with Story. I'm your host, Hannah, and if you don't know me, I am a marketing strategist who helps people who post on social media turn those followers and views into paying clients. I'm so glad you're here because today we have a really important episode because it's come to my attention that most people aren't looking at their data. And before you say, but Hannah, I look at my data every single day. I look at my likes. I look at my saves. I look at whatever, how many views I'm getting. That's not what I'm talking about. Most people, and I know this because every single client that comes into my world tells me this. Most people wait around for leads to come to them. And when I ask my clients, who are their leads? They don't know what to tell me. They literally have no idea. And they'll be like, well, this post got me 6 likes. This post got me, 1,000 views. Okay, great. But who are your leads? Who are people who are going to join your offers? And there's 2 different boats that people fall into with social media. You're either an influencer type, like a personal brand type, where you actually do get paid by the number of followers you have, the number of visibility you get. Brand deals will pay you more when you have a bigger audience. That is a fact. But if you are somebody who is an entrepreneur or a business trying to get customers and leads and sales from your content, there is a different approach. Yes, having a bigger audience is going to help you get a higher volume of leads, a higher volume of clients. But our goal is different. We want to get a higher conversion rate from our content. And if you are trying to get leads and sales from your content, then you need to know how to actually read your audience, read your data, and read what they are telling you, because your audience is going to consistently be giving you feedback on what kind of content they want to see, what content gets them to buy, what content gets them interested in you and following you, what content makes them really question and take that, move the trigger to get them into your offers. Marketing, I feel like people in general think of it as one step. It's like, what am I going to post to get sales? Okay. So you think you're spending all this time creating content. You're filming reels. You're like, okay, maybe I should try doing 10 trial reels a day. Maybe I should really up my volume of how much I'm posting. Maybe I should add another platform to my social media repertoire. Maybe I should do more. But you're not actually looking at the next step of marketing, which is, are you actually getting leads? Are you getting conversions? Are people taking that next step to work with you? And when you can do this correctly, every single time you post, you will know who, or are there people looking at your website, what to post to get people to buy. You'll know who to reach out to kind of nudge them into your world. And this is the work that I do with my clients inside Sales Lab, because most people who join Sales Lab had been posting before hiring me consistently for years, for months. They are posting consistently. They're posting every single day. They're posting several times a day, but their results are not reflecting the amount of effort they're putting into their posts. They feel like all they do is create content. They feel like all they do is spend time on Instagram, on Threads, on TikTok, but it's not moving the needle for them. So they hire me because they want a clear, repeatable, sustainable plan to get new eyeballs and new customers into their world from social media, not with paid ads. Paid ads are cool if you want to do that once you know your messaging, but organic marketing is what we're talking about. So in this episode, I'm breaking down the 3 steps of marketing that I lead my clients through. And I'm going to show you a client example where we literally did this for one of my clients, and she saw a 300% increase in website traffic from her content. So let's dive in. Content is step 1 of marketing. Once you have content posting, we might even argue that data is step 1 of marketing. But for the point of this episode, let's talk about how it's step 1. What you need to do is you need to put something out there into the world, whether that's a carousel post, a reel, a story, a thread, a TikTok, a YouTube video, a podcast episode. an email, putting some form of communication out into the world, and then we wait and you see what happens. That is step one. And we need to kind of think of marketing as like a cyclical journey, because you do step one and then you move into step two and then you move into step three. And then once you know step three, you go back to step one. And I'm going to be explaining what that is in a second. So there are primarily like two different. In my last podcast episode, I talked about how our content has 3 different jobs to do. The first job is to grow your audience and get you visible. This is where you're reaching new eyeballs. You are hoping to expand your world, expand your circle. I feel like everyone understands this on a pretty basic level. The second job your content has to do is to identify your dream clients or your viewers' problem and name the solution to their problem. This is essentially qualifying leads. So you're casting out a reel, for example, on Instagram, and you're getting in front of a new person who has no idea who you are, who has no idea what you do. And it's your job to then say, here, I know this is the problem that you're having, and I actually know the solution. And that's going to get them to follow you. It's going to get them to trust you more, and it's going to get them interested in potentially taking that next step with you, which then the third job for your content is to then sell and convert, which is to take them off the app. Doesn't matter what app you're on, take them off the app and onto your email list through a freebie or into your podcast so that they are getting nurtured more, or a blog or an offer. And that is the 3 jobs of your content, very simply. But so your content, step 1, you needed to do those 3 jobs, right? If we go back to our marketing, there's 3 steps in marketing. Step 1 is the post. We can't really do anything if you haven't put anything out there. The second step is then to identify the leads that are coming through, the data, and moving them through your pipeline. So this is something that I do literally every single week with my clients. And most people are missing this. I have been in programs where, the business coach is telling me to go live every single day, to post this, this, and this, but they do not tell you what to actually do with the data that you're getting from those posts. So what I do on a very basic level with my clients is I help them source a list of people that are interested in them, and then get them to either take the next step, like introduce a freebie to them, get them on your email list. It doesn't have to be sales. It could also just be building a communication and getting market research. So the places that I look at for these leads and that I take my clients through is 1, their stories. I encourage people to look at their stories at least once a week and see who's watching your stories until the end. I don't watch every single person's story on Instagram every single day. In fact, it's pretty rare. If you catch me watching your stories, I either did it by accident or I am interested in something that you're doing. So that same goes for your stories. You're like looking at your stories going, oh, I'm only getting 20 people watching my stories. But those are 20 people who are interested in you, interested in what you have to say. And those are some of your warmest leads. And I've had clients be like, that's too much work to look at really? It's too much work to get 20 potential people on a list that you can now focus on to get your client? Really? Are you sure about that? Because to me, that's the best bang for your buck. Oh, I got a list of 20 people. I'm a generator in human design. The moment I have tangible people in front of me that I can actually see are interested in me, I'm like, heck yeah, let's go. I'm ready to run. So anyways, we got to identify those leads. The places you look at for that, your stories, you look at who's, on your email list and clicking your emails and opening your emails. You look at who's commenting and liking your posts. Although those people are a little like iffy. We can put a little asterisk next to the name because sometimes people just go and engage with your content because they are trying to sell to you. They are trying to get your attention. That's specifically on Instagram. Threads is an amazing place to get leads. Look at who's engaging with you. Look at who's liking your posts. Look at who is following you. These are all people every single week. you should have a growing working list of people that are interested in you. Where did you get these people? Your content. It starts with content. So it starts with content. Then you got to figure out who's actually looking, who's actually watching, who's actually a potential person, because you have maybe 1,000 followers, but you only need 20 of those people to be interested. And then from those 20 of those people, you only need 5 to 10 of those people to actually join your offer to hit those 10K months, 20K months, whatever your goal is, depending on how much your offer is worth. The third step is then to figure out where those leads are dropping off in your pipeline. Pipeline is just a really fancy technical term for marketing where it's like your customer journey. If you look at a timeline, like the dinosaurs timeline of when they existed, it's kind of the same for your customers, your leads. They start as a follower, then they maybe jump into they're watching your stories, then they join your email list, then they click on your email, and then they browse your sales page. And then did they click on the cart, for your sales page? Did they actually click to the next step to maybe join? And then they filled off there. We need to figure out where they're dropping off. And then we need to fix that so that people actually join your offers. So if you're getting 0 leads, like you're posting content, but literally no one is liking it, no one is seeing it, no one is, watching your stories or whatever, that's very rare, right? Like so rare. If you have 0 leads, the first thing I'm going to tell you is to let's look at your content and let's start posting stories and start there. We need to focus on visibility. If you're getting leads, so you have people watching your stories, you have people looking at your website, you have people maybe saying like in your DM saying like, oh, I want to work with you, but then they aren't joining your offers or they're not joining your freebie. We need to look at how you're speaking about your freebie and your offers. Maybe it's the freebie. Maybe it's something they don't want. Maybe it's your low ticket thing. If you don't have a freebie and you have a low ticket thing, but people are not joining the low ticket thing, then that's probably a kink in your pipeline. This is exactly what I did for my client, Lori. Lori is she is a offer specialist. So she helps people get really clear on their zone of genius and build offer suites and ecosystems around their zone of genius. Instead of just having random offers that don't work together, she builds an offer ecosystem. So clients that come in for her low ticket offer naturally go up into her higher ticket offer. And my client, Lori, she came in to the sales lab. Before she hired me, she was posting every single day on her Instagram. She was posting so much, but she told me that 0 sales came from her Instagram content. In fact, Instagram, Threads, LinkedIn, none of those places that she was posting on so many different platforms, you guys. None of those places were actually bringing in website traffic. The traffic on her website were coming from Google, and it was coming from her podcast and her blog. She blamed Instagram. She said, no, my ideal client isn't on Instagram. Instagram doesn't work for me. All the different excuses. The algorithm hates me. When she booked the sales lab intensive with me and we hopped on her 90-minute call, most of my clients, they have a messaging gap. They come in and they just they're not specific enough with who they're speaking to. They don't know how to talk about their offers. This person, Lori, she comes into the strategy call. So the thing I focus on in Sales Lab is fixing that messaging gap, right? She comes into the sales call with a Google Doc with 30 pages of messaging. And it was so clear. She knew exactly who her offers were for. She knew exactly what stage each of her offers were for. She knew what her ideal clients were experiencing. She had client stories of how she helped people get from step A to step B with her offers. She had so much of the technical work that most people are missing. She knew her positioning, she knew her messaging, she knew why her offer. But then when you looked at her Instagram, you would have never guessed that, because her Instagram looked like, I just posted a new blog post, blah, blah, blah. Or go listen to my podcast snippet. Her Instagram looked like just a feed of advertisements of new blog post, new podcast post, new this. And she wasn't actually creating content for her dream clients. It was more like self-serving her. She was posting content for her business growth, but she wasn't posting for the person engaging with her content. Now, I tell all my clients that I want you to treat your content as if this person who, your content lands on someone's For You page and they have never heard of you. They don't know what you're offering. They don't know why you are the person helping them with this. They don't know you at all. They know nothing about you. Does your piece of content actually tell them who you are, why they need to follow you, and what you're going to do for them? If the answer is no, we need to work on that, because even if you're getting visible, even if you're getting views, they're not going to follow you. They're not going to look at the rest of your content. They're not going to go to your blog or your podcast or your freebie and your email list unless you answer those questions. So on our call, I had to pivot. I had to switch gears. Instead of focusing on our messaging and our positioning and our offer suite, because she knew all that. And in fact, I would say she spent too much time on that. And that's very rare. Most of my clients aren't like that. But instead of that, we had to work on creating engaging content, creating content that people would actually want to follow her, want to listen to her for, because no one is going to see a post that says new blog post and like stop to read it. That's very old school, I would say, but I don't even know if that worked old school. People need to know what's in it for me. If they are scrolling on TikTok and they are like watching funny videos, the reason why they're doing that is because they want to be entertained. If they're scrolling on Instagram and they are going to land on a service provider's video, the reason why they are watching that is because they want to get a problem solved. They want to maybe feel connected to somebody who also gets the struggle that they're going through. So after identifying her gap, which is that her content really wasn't speaking to her dream client, and educating them on why she is the person to fix their offers, we fixed her content. And there was a lot of pushback, right? Like she was like, oh, this is too hard. Of course, it's a little bit more difficult because we're not just putting up a pre-created template that says new blog post. We're actually putting some thought and effort into it. But instead of posting every single day, I told her we can post 3 times a week. And I also told her like we could repurpose content from her blog, from her podcast. I showed her how to make her content more efficient. After she posted 3 times, I think it was 3 posts, a week later, she saw a 300% increase in website traffic from her content, right? So like this is not a fluke. Every single one of my clients that have come into Sales Lab in 2026 has seen some kind of ROI, whether that is more visibility, whether that is more leads, whether that is more people going to our website traffic, new clients, you name it. I've had people book discovery calls within days of getting off their Sales Lab call with me. And that's not by accident. It's because I've worked really, really hard on making this offer as potent as possible. So now that we know people are seeing her content, liking her content so much that they even go to her profile and click the link in her bio, now we can work on getting those leads in. Now we can look at her stories and see who's watching her stories. We can go to her website and see, out of those leads coming from Instagram and Threads, how many of them are scrolling through her page? How many of them are clicking the link to actually go and book a discovery call with her, or actually join her low ticket offer or whatever? And from there, we have a plan that will help her create content in the future, because now we're looking at, okay, which content out of the 3 posts that we did last week, and she got a 300% increase in website traffic, which day did the website traffic spike the most? Okay, her post on Wednesday spiked her traffic the most. What did we talk about on Wednesday? Why would this move somebody into her offers? Right? So like when you're actually looking, I want you to be a scientist. I want you to really treat your content as an experiment, because that's what it is. My degree is in environmental science and in business. And it's so funny because if you talk to a random person on the street, they'd be like, how is that connected? But I swear my science degree helps me be a better marketer, because I treat my content like an experiment. I say, what happens if we do this? Post? Oh, interesting. It got this result. Oh, okay. It actually got this person in my DMs. Oh, interesting. People didn't like when I talked about this. People really liked when I talked about this. It's all data. And you can use that data to create stronger content, to create more leads coming in. And for this client in particular, Lori, now once we've figured out that she does have people on Instagram, we figured out that better content does bring in more website traffic. Now we can go and look at who's watching her stories, who's engaging with her content. And now she has a list of people that are potential clients. And those potential clients can turn into a $10,000 ROI. Or more so. I'm not entirely sure the math on her offers, but I know that her high ticket offer is like $1,000 a month, I think. So this is what happens when you have a marketing strategist on your team. When you hire a marketing strategist who actually treats content with strategy, not just a copy and paste strategy, right? Like I have clients who are illustrators. I have a client who is currently building a cozy craft night membership. I have a client who's an accountant. I have a client who is building a membership for new entrepreneurs. I have a client who is an OBM. They're all different. I've had clients who are musicians. They're all different. They all have slightly different posting strategies. Like some of them are focusing on reels. Some of them are focusing on carousels. Some of them are doing live streams. Some of them are not even on Instagram. They're posting on YouTube or Threads or TikTok. It doesn't matter. What matters is if you have someone who understands strategy at your table with you, who can help you read the data that you get. So you're not just posting things and putting it out into the universe and being like, I hope this brings somebody into my DMs. No, it's like you post something. Let's say no one says, I'm interested in working with you. No, you don't get a single DM saying, hey, can you send me the link? That post can still give you data on who your leads are if you know where to look. So instead of waiting around for someone to comment your trigger word and then getting upset when no one comments your trigger word, or instead of waiting around for someone to actually DM you when you say, oh, DM me for more information, and getting upset when no one DMs you, I need you to take a little bit more responsibility, and I need you to learn how to actually read your data and learn how to get leads because they're out there. Stop waiting around for them. Please, I beg you. This is something that I'm doing in my April CEO sprint. This month for me has been really focused on visibility, getting my leads, refreshing my leads, I should say, and setting up my business to handle inquiries while I am traveling abroad next month. In May, I'm traveling in Morocco, Portugal, and Madeira, and I am so excited. And while I am still supporting my clients behind the scenes through Voxer and through content audits, I am not doing any calls. So I am being really strategic with my marketing right now in this month because I am focused on visibility, but my visibility is focused on identifying those leads and getting them on my email list or getting them on the wait list for the sales lab so that when I get back in June, my June month will already be set up with a booked out calendar. That's the goal. So if you're not following me on Instagram and you're not following the Reels series that I'm doing where I'm documenting every single thing that I'm doing this month to make that possible for me, definitely go check that out. And if you are somebody who wants to learn how to actually identify their leads from the content that you're posting, or better yet, you're like, I'm posting content, but I have no idea if it's working for me, send me a DM on Instagram and I can help you with that. I will chat with you. I'll look at your specific content. I'll look at your audience, and I'll give you support on how you can turn those people into potential leads and then clients. And if you're interested in joining the Sales Lab, I do still have spots open for April. I have a spot open for this week. This is the week of the April 13th, and I have spots open for next week, the 20th. So if you're like, okay, you've convinced me, I need to be way more meticulous with my Instagram, with my marketing in general. I don't just do Instagram. Let me reiterate that. Then book a Sales Lab intensive with me. You can either book directly from the show notes of this episode, or you can go and send me a DM on Instagram. But hey, I'm not going to wait around for you to send me a DM. I'm going to be making content for you because I know what you like to listen to. I know what you move from. So if you want to be as creepy as me, get in my DMs and let's chat about how we can do that for you. Because I promise you have people in your audience right now who are watching you, who are creeping, who are lurking. You just don't know where to look for them.